Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Stylosa and we've got a new Helldivers 2 patch update, and this includes nerfs to weapons. Yes, the Railgun is being nerfed, but so is the shield backpack. I've got a bunch of stratagem nerfs, but there's a load of weapon buffs as well, and there are some new modifiers coming to missions, things like fire tornadoes, which just sound absolutely crazy. And I've also got the details of the weapon changes, and I think we'll just begin with that. So these are all of the weapons that are being balanced in this patch. Now, Alex K is one of the designers on Helldivers 2 and has provided some additional numbers regarding weapon balancing. The Breaker decreased magazine capacity from 16 to 13, increased recoil from 30 to 55. Now, the Breaker was pretty much considered the meta, the best primary weapon in the game, so it kind of makes sense that they would look at nerfing that weapon. Railgun. Now, this was one of the weapons that if you play on the higher difficulties, like above 7, so if you go playing like 8 or even 9 for Helldive, Railgun is kind of like one of those things that you're almost expected to take because it's easy to take out the heavily armored enemies with it. I still don't think it's generally the best weapon overall, but it's really powerful. And so what they're doing is nerfing this. They're decreasing armor penetration, decreased damage against durable enemy parts, so this will make it less effective at the job it was basically doing. Flamethrower. Now, this is great because the Flamethrower, probably one of the worst weapons in the game, and I want to go and burn some bugs, and you're going to be able to do that now because they've increased the damage per second by 50%. Now, that is an absolutely massive increase in damage per second for the Flamethrower, so this could be the go-to weapon if you're playing on those higher difficulty bug missions and you're getting really swarmed. You're just going to be able to absolutely spray them down with fire. To me, that's going to be awesome. Laser cannon. Now, I'm going to be totally honest. This is a weapon I've never used, the laser cannon, just because it looked really bad in the little video you get when you select the weapon. So what they've done here is they've increased the damage against durable enemy parts, increased armor penetration, and improved the ergonomics. Now, we might be going into a world where the laser cannon is replacing the railgun. That would be kind of interesting to see. But yeah, I've never actually used a laser cannon, so I'm going to go and try it and see what this is all about because, yeah, this seems like it could be quite powerful. Punisher. Okay, another one of the shotguns. Increased total ammo capacity from 40 to 60. Increased stagger force. Increased damage from 40 to 45 per bullet. So you can see they're trying to rebalance the shotguns here. Go and use the Punisher. It looks like it's had a pretty big buff. Breaker, spray and pray, increased armor penetration, increased fire rate from 300 to 330, increased number of pellets from 12 to 16 per shot, decreased magazine size from 32 to 26. So again, more of this rebalancing of the shotgun family. Now, the energy shield backpack increased delay before recharging. Now, this is one of those items that was, yeah, you could join higher level missions, and if you're not taking a railgun and you're not taking a shield backpack, you sometimes could get kicked for that, and that's not great. You know, you should be able to use whatever weapon you want, provided the weapons are, you know, got some sort of power level to them, I guess. Then again, maybe I'm going against what I just said there because I'm almost arguing for meta weapons, but I'm not. Like, just use whatever you like. So anyway, I'm happy to see this because I think the energy shield backpack, well, it's not even I think, I know it's a really boring stratagem, that is, because it's just like, it's a support weapon you bring down and you just wear it and it's boring. Just take a jetpack. Now, the 380mm and the 120mm orbital barrages increased duration of the bombardment but decreased spread, so should make these a more focused weapon. So I think that may be a little bit of a buff. Could also be a nerf though, because like having a wide area get destroyed is also quite powerful as well, especially against weaker enemies. Okay, let's go over all of the patch notes, and then we're going to take a look at what Alex K says about the patch notes in general, because it gives us some awesome info as to what's going on behind the scenes of the game. So, this is patch 01.000.100, and yeah, the major updates are planetary hazards are now active. Many planets now have additional environmental challenges that will appear at random while you are deployed, from fire tornadoes to meteor showers and many more. Yes, 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 this sounds amazing. Give it me. Inject it into me. Moving on to balance changes. So, Eradicate missions. Eradicate missions now require more kills and enemies spawn more often. The time to complete the mission was previously shorter than intended and should now usually take twice as long to complete. So yeah, these were pretty much the big XP farm. I hated it when I got into groups that just would jump, but they weren't completing operations. They were just jumping from Eradicate mission to Eradicate mission, from planet to planet to planet, and just burning them all out. They were really fast. You didn't really get to do anything. Everyone just dropped down a mortar, sentry turret, and that was kind of it. So yeah, I'm glad that these are getting changed and we have to kill more enemies now. It'll make them feel better. And just to go over the weapon change, well, this doesn't actually go over the weapon change, it just says which weapons have been changed, but we've been over the changes. But anyway, just to reiterate, the SG225 Breaker, the SG8 Punisher, the SG225 SP Breaker Spray and Pray, the RS422 Railgun, the Flam 40 Flamethrower, and the LAS 98 Laser Cannon are all receiving balance changes. Stratagems that again changed. Again, we've been over this, but we'll just go over it again. Shield Generator Pack, Orbital 120mm High Explosive Barrage, and the Orbital 380mm High Explosive Barrage. This is the list of fixes that are going in with this patch. Fixed armor rating values not reducing damage as intended. This is a massive fix, because this means heavy armor will now work in the game, because I don't know if you guys were aware, but heavy armor basically didn't work. So you should be able to absorb a lot more damage now if you are wearing heavy armor. Now, we may see people using less of the stealth armor, which is kind of, again, the meta armor currently, because you just didn't get picked up by roaming patrols and you could kind of get away from fights. Because sort of the harder difficulties you go into in Helldivers 2, you basically want to fight less, because if you get caught in like a massive battle, it'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on. You'll get swamped and then you'll get killed. So you almost need to just keep running from objective to objective, and the stealth armor really helped with that. But maybe with armor actually working now, especially heavy armor, you might be able to take more fights. So I don't know, but big change that'll be. Fixed certain bug holes, including stalker nests that were unnecessarily hard to destroy. Fixed anti-aliasing toggle not working on PS5. Balanced lighting across all planets to solve cases where the game was too dark. Improved flashlight efficacy. Increased visibility during second rain weather on Errata Prime. Updated tutorial materials and lighting. Improved cases where some materials could look blurry if lighting graphics setting was set to low. Fixed timing issues that could occur in the Extract E710 primary objective. Changed button interaction behavior for buttons in bunker point of interest. Helldivers will now let go of the button after holding it for a few seconds. Yeah, so you don't just stand there holding it. Fix some of the cases of large assets floating if the ground beneath them was blown up. Yes, and we've all seen that. Big containers hovering. Helldivers standing next to ICBMs during launch will get properly toasty with a chance of not so spontaneous combustion. Yes, you'll get blown up by the ICBM now, so don't stand near it. Fixed unthrowable snowballs after ragdolling. Fixed being able to use grenades after drowning. Camera no longer locked on the player's own corpse and blocking spectator mode, which does happen sometimes, which is annoying. Helldivers now taking damage from fire, gas, etc. generated by other players. Oh. So you can, oh. And the flamethrower has been buffed. Oh. Armor no longer stretches when dismembered. And these are the current known issues, which are not actually fixed in this patch. They may have been caused by this patch, or they're from previous versions of the game. And yeah, so these are not fixed, but they're working on them. Picking up items from caches may cause characters to freeze in place for extended periods of time. This does happen, but you can actually get, if you get melee attacked by one of your allies, it will knock you out of this. But generally, they're nowhere near you when this happens, so you're just sort of stuck, which is not great. Picking up items from bunkers and caches in quick succession may render one of the items unpickable. Yeah, that happens a lot. Players cannot unfriend other players befriended via friend code. Players may be unable to select loadout or return to ship when joining a multiplayer game session via PS5 activity card. Occasionally, mission reward multiplier may not be applied. Mission objective HUD displays different numbers for client and host during some missions. Default armor is always shown while viewing the warbond, regardless of the armor that the player is equipped. Text chat box display is obstructed by the cinematic letterbox during extraction. Some text in the HUD/UI is missing or not displaying correctly. Players may experience issues when many players attempt to log in and or play at the same time. Login rate limiting. Players may become disconnected during play. Various UI issues may appear when the game interacts with servers. Some games may not be joinable by others for a short period of time. So this is awesome. This is details from Alex K, the designer. as to what they're doing with this patch and what's going to happen going forward. Now, this is always great. Having flavor text to patch notes is fantastic, especially when it's super detailed, because you get into the mind of the development team and you can kind of sort of predict where they're going and what they're trying to do with the game, and it's just really good to see. But this is what Alex says. This is the first round in a never-ending series of balance changes, and we believe it's important to be completely transparent about our approach to game balance, especially when it comes to weapons and stratagems that you have strong opinions about. Our goal is to give you a wide range of weapon choices where each gun has its purpose and none is strictly better than another. Sure, you will have your own favourite, but it should come from your personal preference, not from the universally agreed knowledge of which gun is the strongest. Generally, we balance each item according to its quirks, so if a weapon is very effective at what it does, it should come with significant disadvantages to balance its power. And that is a statement there that the devs are definitely going against meta builds. They don't want people to be like, oh, you can only use 4 different, things in a mission, and that's basically it. You can't use anything else. It should be kicked. That's not in the spirit of this game. They want you to play with whatever the hell you want and have fun with it. I think this is fantastic, and it's a very strong statement there from the devs. We don't want the meta to be, we don't want it to be a game that's run by metas, because that just ruins games. The AC-8 autocannon is a good example of a well-balanced weapon. It packs a powerful punch, has very good range, but requires you to carry an ammo backpack or have a friend assist you. The GL-21 grenade launcher is the opposite example. It's a good general purpose weapon that gives you so much flexibility. It can't obviously deal too much damage without becoming overpowered. But weapons that are both powerful and versatile become a no-brainer choice during the weapon selection phase. It robs you of your own agency, as stale meta builds force you to make an unfair choice between a fun weapon and an effective one. In short, powerful weapons can't be too versatile, versatile weapons can't be too powerful. Having said all that, after analysing player feedback and the data we've collected over the past month, we found the 3 biggest offenders of that principle: the breaker, the railgun, and the shield generator. All 3 of these were quite strong, with too little downsides, overshadowing all other options on higher difficulty levels. So with this patch, they're getting significant downsides to balance their power. However, we strongly believe that the changes won't ruin this build, but rather help the affected items find their place among the other options and stay effective in capable hands. On a more personal note, I know that having your favourite toy nerfed absolutely sucks. Investing countless hours into mastering a weapon is an incredible dedication from you, which is the main reason we're making this game in the first place, and then having that weapon weakened feels like a punishment for being too good at the game. But I implore you not to compare a changed item with its older version, but to evaluate the existing one as it is and see if it still has a place in your heart. We thank you for your dedication and commitment to spreading democracy in the most optimal way possible. Now it's up to us to make it as fun and entertaining as we can. Oh, and we also buffed a bunch of weapons as well. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Really cool stuff. Massive balance changes for the game. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And yeah, I'm off to go and use a laser cannon. I want to see what this is all about. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you soon.